One thing I am continually coaching my one-on-one nutrition clients towards is not overthinking food. In fact, the simpler, the better. The less brain power and time it takes, the easier it is to actually stick to it long term. And the 3 meals I just outlined for you are some of the simplest collection of ingredients to get you a nutritious meal in less than 15 minutes.
Do you struggle to stay consistent with healthy eating and just want food decisions to be easy, guilt-free, and sustainable? You're in the right place. Hi, I'm Chelsea, nutritionist and fitness coach who overcame restrictive yo-yo dieting and body image insecurities using simple nutrition tools, all backed by biblical principles. And now I help women like you find that same freedom with food so you can feel confident in the look and health of your body for decades to come. I'm ready to dive in with you. So grab that cute notebook you've been hanging on to and let's go.
I'm only 4 episodes in and I'm already hooked. This podcast is awesome. So many helpful tips and tricks for making healthy eating easier, and I love the scripture tie-ins along the way. This is really something special. I've never heard anything like it. Gosh, Jess, that just makes my heart so happy. The whole point of this podcast is to give you valuable tools to make your health life simpler. So let's get to today's goodness. Welcome to the show. On today's episode, I want to give you 3 easy meal ideas for when you are running short on time. I want to go through something breakfasty, something lunchy, and something dinner-y. But first things first, I want to be really clear here. Don't let yourself get pigeonholed into one of these categories and think that they have to be like, this food has to be for breakfast, this one has to be for lunch, this has to be for dinner. Listen, as long as you stick to real food and in the diamond meal framework, which if those are foreign terms to you, I went through that in episode 6. So if you missed that episode, go back, take a listen. The rest of this will make a lot more sense. But as long as you are sticking to those frameworks, just plug in the ingredients that you like the best. I think a lot of times, this is especially true for breakfast. We get trapped in this idea that breakfast can only be cereal, toast, bagels, pancakes, or eggs, and that's it. And so you've made the decision you're going to have real food for breakfast, but man, you just can't stand the thought of having more eggs. Well, I'm here to tell you, then don't have eggs. Okay, maybe last night's dinner, you had chicken cordon bleu, there's a little bit of leftovers, you ran out of time for breakfast today. Have chicken cordon bleu for breakfast. That will always be a much better option than the processed grains that we are conditioned to have as breakfast foods. So I just wanted to release you from the bondage of it's eggs or nothing for breakfast. You can have whatever real food you want for breakfast. With all of that being said, the example I want to give you for the breakfast meal does include eggs because, number 1, they are so nutrient dense. Number 2, eggs are the perfect vehicle for including vegetables. And 3, they're so stinking easy to cook. And so my go-to short on time breakfast meal is what I call a frittata. Some people call it an egg bake or egg casserole. It's all the same in my book. And it is perfect for the person who is short on time in the mornings. You need something kind of grab and go. I actually came up with this when I was first starting my personal training career. So I was just starting at the gym and I was taking any clients I could possibly get. I was the low man on the totem pole, which meant I got the rough hours. And I often was starting my first training client at 5 in the morning. I had to be at the gym by 4:45 in the morning, and my alarm clock was going off at 3:30. I also got busy enough in my schedule that I didn't have a break. I had back-to-back clients until noon. So I had to have breakfast when I woke up before going to my 5 a.m. client. That's how this recipe was born. Because you better believe I was not about to make a fresh meal from scratch at 3:30 a.m. So here's exactly the formula. I bake this in a casserole dish. I usually use my square 9x9 casserole dish. I've had clients who use muffin tins to make individual servings like a little egg cup. Either works. It's totally up to you. I would make 5 servings to get me through my work week with this. And I find that it's easiest if you have a theme to direct your flavors. So I'll walk you through an example of this. Let's say we decide to go with like a Mexican theme. Starting with my vegetables, I would probably pick things like onions, tomatoes, peppers. Now, I, in particular, do not do well with spicy things. Mild salsa is about as hot as I can get. So I will leave things like jalapenos out of it for myself, but totally like have fun with it. Make it your own. And as far as the diamond meal goes, I can check off vegetables for that component. And then I like to add extra protein in it. And so for a Mexican theme, I would probably just brown some ground beef with taco seasoning flavors. We're thinking paprika, cumin, maybe some chili pepper, chili flakes. I do want to make sure that I cook the meat before I add it into the casserole pan. I don't want to put raw meat in before I bake the whole dish. So now I've got veggies, I've got protein, and then for eggs, I'm going to include 2 eggs for every serving. I am a 5'3" female, relatively active. I already have protein in there, so 2 eggs really is plenty for me. And so I will scramble 10 eggs, 2 a day for 5 days. Add that into the casserole dish, mix it all up to make sure everything's incorporated, and then you cover it and bake it. I bake it kind of like a cake, so we're thinking 350 to 375. To be clear, that's Fahrenheit. Not sure how many of us are in the metric system here. I have no idea what that would be in Celsius. And it usually takes me about 30 to 45 minutes to bake, really depending on how densely I put in all of the extra ingredients. You'll know it's done when you look at the pan, it's starting to brown around the edges and the edges are peeling away from your bakeware. Now, one thing to note about eggs is that they continue to cook for several minutes after you take them out of heat. And so if you're kind of teetering on the edge, but you don't want them overbaked, take them out, leave them covered because they will continue to cook. And then for me, I let them cool completely. I'll divide them into my 5 servings, and I actually just leave it in the pan. Now that's up to you and your household and your fridge real estate. If you want to individually pack them so you've got them to take with you, totally fine as well. But I do make sure that I pre-portion them out so that, at that 3:30 a.m. when I'm not thinking very straight and I don't have a lot of time, I can just scoop it out of the pan, reheat it, and I've got myself breakfast for the day. If I don't include a starch in the casserole, so for the Mexican theme, I could maybe do some rice or some potatoes in there, but I actually really enjoy fruit, so I usually put fruit on the side and that would count as my starch. And the eggs themselves would count as my fat source. I've got my diamond meal, they're all real foods, and it took me less than 15 minutes of preparation time. My husband actually calls this health brick because when you cut it out and it's like a log, it's just so nutrient dense, and I find it kind of endearing. So there is your health brick recipe for mornings when you are short on time. Now let's shift our focus onto lunch. This quick lunch idea is also one of my favorite travel hacks, and I call it salad in a bag. Here's how it works. Instead of going through a drive-thru or ordering DoorDash or getting some sort of convenience food that you really don't know the ingredients to, find yourself a grocery store and let's assemble a diamond meal. So for veggies, I pick out a salad in a bag. Now, these have come a long ways. We're not looking at just chopped green leaf lettuce here. There are some really elaborate combinations. You can get salads that already have things like carrots and cabbage and Brussels sprouts included in them. You do need to be mindful of some of the ingredients. Sometimes the add-ins are cooked in oils that we want to stay away from. Might have some preservatives that aren't the greatest, but still, pick the thing that calls to you. That will satisfy your vegetable component. Then when we think about protein, most grocery stores are going to have some sort of canned salmon or tuna. You can pretty much bank on that. Some grocery stores, if you're lucky, have a salad bar or a hot food station with things like, yesterday's rotisserie chicken or baked turkey or something along those lines. Scope it out, find the protein of your choosing, and then again, for starch, we can put a fruit in. Grab a whole fruit or those pre-cut boxes of fruit. Either works. And then you have a couple options.
If you need a salad dressing of sorts, sometimes if they have a hot food station, they will have an area with salad dressings or other condiments. You could also straight up buy a bottle of olive oil and just keep it at your desk. And sometimes just adding the extra crunch or flavor of nuts and seeds will do the trick for your fat component. And then you just dump it all in the bag, shake it real good, and you've got yourself a walking fish taco salad or whatever the ingredients are. Eat the whole dang thing and enjoy it. That combination of ingredients, I guarantee, is less expensive than going to the salad restaurant. A little piece of me dies every time I pay $22 for a salad, when I know I can just make it myself and probably make it better. And you can rest easy that there are no weird ingredients in what you're eating. All right, let's talk about dinner ideas. Now, let's be honest here. I think for a lot of us, the biggest obstacle with eating healthfully for dinner consistently is that we just get lazy. We get tired. After a long day of work, the last thing we want to do is start washing vegetables and chopping and shoot, I forgot to defrost the chicken. And then all of a sudden we're like, I guess we're ordering pizza. Sound familiar? I know I've been there. So here's what I do instead. If you can swing through the grocery store on your way home, for protein, pick up a rotisserie chicken. It's already cooked for you. Amazing. Ready when you're home. For vegetables, grab a bag of frozen vegetable blend that doesn't have sauce on it. It's just straight up vegetables, whatever ones you like. And then for a starch, if you're tired of fruit, then we can maybe go for a cooked starch. Potatoes are so easy to make. I'll explain that in a second. Or you could find one of those minute rice packets, just plain rice, add some water, bada bing, bada boom, you got some rice. Honestly, whatever floats your boat, as long as it's real food and it fits in the diamond meal categories. Now, obviously, the chicken, already made, ideal, we love that. For the frozen vegetables, you can either microwave them for less than 5 minutes, or if you're super crunchy like me, put them in a pot with a little bit of water and the lid on, and just let them steam on the stovetop. Either way is fine. No judgment if you're microwaving. Just please promise me that you take them out of the bag and put them in a microwave-safe glass or ceramic dish with some water to steam it so you're not baking microplastics into your food. And then for your potato, this works best with sweet potatoes. I personally am just not a big fan of the flavor of russet potatoes, so I haven't tried it very often with a russet potato, but I know it works well for a sweet potato. You're welcome to try either. I make these in the microwave and it takes 5 minutes. So you'll wash your potato really well and then make a long slice down the middle, but like a pocket. You're not going to actually cut it in half. You're just going to kind of make an envelope hole in the potato. Put that in the microwave. Some microwaves have a potato setting on it, so you can just set it for baked potato. Otherwise, you're looking at 3 to 5 minutes. And that is literally it. Now you've got chicken, vegetables, and a potato, a complete diamond meal with margin to add your favorite sauces and seasonings, because I know this sounds kind of a bland meal. And you can make that your fat. So maybe you put butter on your vegetables and potatoes, or maybe you've got a favorite barbecue sauce. This meal was assembled in like 7 minutes. What I will actually do is come home, get the vegetables started, get the potato started, go to the bathroom, change my clothes, get settled in for the night, and by the time I get back to the kitchen, it's all ready for me. And the cool thing is, this whole rotisserie chicken is going to give me leftovers for future meals, so now I have protein figured out for a couple more days. Now, if you don't have time to swing through a grocery store on the way home, consider having it delivered to your door. That is the beauty of modern technology. We now have, in most places, food delivery services. So before you leave work, put that Instacart order in so it's there ready for you when you get home. And there you have it. You know, one thing I am continually coaching my one-on-one nutrition clients towards is not overthinking food. In fact, the simpler, the better. The less brain power and time it takes, the easier it is to actually stick to it long term. And the 3 meals I just outlined for you are some of the simplest collection of ingredients to get you a nutritious meal in less than 15 minutes. So save this episode to have in your back pocket for the next time you're really short on time,
or just plain old run out of energy to do any kind of elaborate cooking. And if you want even more meal ideas tailored to your personal preferences and your crazy schedule, I currently have a few spots available in my one-on-one nutrition coaching program, The Sustainable Way. Head to coachrain.com/nutrition coaching for more info and to book a free consultation call with me.
I pray this episode was helpful to you, my friend. If so, could you do me a massive favor and take 30 seconds to write a review? This is the best way to bless me big and help more people learn just how simple eating healthy consistently can be. And if you want more value-packed info from me, head to coachrain.com and sign up for the Weekly Harvest, my weekly emails filled with recipes, how to use food as medicine, biblical nutrition, and more. That's coachreign.com for the Weekly Harvest. Blessings until next time, sis. Toodles.